Hi, my name is Riley Wyndham, and today I'll be talking about my research study on improving my skills in reading comprehension. So, in order to do this study, I did 5 days of attempting to improve my reading comprehension by reading an article of research related to my future career as an environmental scientist every day. So, the reason I chose this skill is because although it may not seem like reading comprehension will have much to do with environmental science, it will actually have a lot to do because every area of land is different, and it will take a lot of research in order to figure out what needs to be done in order to deal with, explore, conserve, protect, change any type of land that we might be working with in my career. And I'm sure that will take pages and pages and pages of reading to figure all of that out before we can move forward. So, in order to increase my proficiency in reading comprehension, research says that honestly, just doing it more will improve your abilities. So, I decided to improve this by trying to read an article or two every single day for all 5 days of my study. And according to research, that should increase my speed in reading, reduce the amount of fatigue I feel after reading an article, and improve my understanding of each article overall. So, how I did this was first thing I did was I used library resources in order to find articles that are related to my field. After choosing my articles, which is going to be like 1 to 2 every day, I obviously would read them and take notes on what I have read. And that would include things like what the article is about, like the main idea, small details. I would write down questions that I had about the article, things that I didn't understand, and also words that I may not have known or wanted to learn more about. In order to assess my progress day to day, I had a list of questions that I would ask myself and answer in my daily audio logs. And also in my audio logs, I would kind of summarize the video, talk about the vocabulary words that I had chosen and define them. And I would try and recite what the article was about from memory in order to assess if I had remembered more or less from the day before. So things that I found, this was actually a lot harder than I assumed it would be. And this was because the difficulty level of the articles would change every day. So about like day 3, I thought I would be able to read a second article without experiencing too much fatigue. But day 3 was the hardest article I had read. It was much harder than day 2, and then day 4 was much easier. So it was hard to get like a firm grasp on it wasn't like steadily getting harder in articles, but easier with my skill. It was just difficult to choose articles that were all the same level of difficulty. Also, I was never able to read a second article without feeling completely wiped out and my brain being tired. It was too much, and I would be confused at the end of every article. Not confused per se, but just wiped out. Some articles were more enjoyable than others, depending on like what my interest was. For example, one article about logging, using photography to capture and predict the growth of marshlands was much more interesting to me than an article about the changes in permafrost on a mountain over thousands of years. So I just really found that although it became easier day to day to like sit down and like not dread the possibility of reading an article, I don't really think that my fatigue lessened any. Also, I do think my speed got better though. Like I would read the articles faster. When explaining my findings in my audio log, I tried to assess myself on how much better I understood the material by assessing how I was explaining it. Like, did I stumble over my words? Did I struggle with like remembering? In day one, I think I stumbled over every other word that I said, but by day 5, I was blowing through the information without really struggling with pronouncing. The only thing, and obviously I still struggle with this, I say like or like in between words so that I can like my thoughts can catch up to my mouth pretty much. But yeah, I do think overall I would say that I did get better at reading comprehension because I'm now more willing to do the work than I would have been before. I would have dreaded it a lot more than I would now, but now that I've done it for 5 days straight, it's not as much of a difficulty as it was before. And it'll also be helpful if I can read this stuff faster and absorb more information, which I was able to assess through my audio logs. So overall, I think it was a successful study, and I enjoyed it. Thank you.